Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.
Well, thanks for joining us, everybody. If you are a business person or you're thinking about going into business or you're just kind of making a change, because a lot of us with the pandemic are looking at change, we have some help for you. You need help with that. You can't do it alone. Trust me, you can't. I can tell you for sure, you can't do it alone. I own a business and you need help, and you need a business coach that knows what they're doing. And that would be Hollie Whaley, who is with K&H Coaching. How are you, Hollie? Great to have you back.
I'm doing well. Thank you. Thank you for having me back.
Yeah, it's kind of an exciting time for a lot of people looking at what they're doing, thinking about making that change. And once you've committed in your brain to a change, now you got to think about all the things, obviously a business plan, your purpose, should you be doing what you're doing, your market, who's your competition, marketing. So that's another part of it. But it all comes back to one thing: finances, financial. Why don't we tackle that today when it comes to starting a business or even operating your business?
Sure. So I think one of the biggest challenges when people decide they want to start a business is they don't consider the financial implications of that. And so you have a lot of people, particularly right now, doing this mass exodus, right, out of the
Sure.
workforce. And they're like, I'm going to start a business. And they didn't take into consideration that your business probably isn't going to generate six figures tomorrow. Right.
Yep.
That you have to put into it before you kind of reap those rewards. And I think that we're living in this instantaneous world of social media, and we see things and we think, oh, I can do this. But there's really work that goes into creating that. And so one of the things that I like to do with my clients is take them through a lot of different components of financials. So one thing that we have to tackle are your personal finances. And I don't need to be in the nitty gritty, but I need to understand, how do you manage them? Are you paying your bills on time? What are some of the challenges you face in your personal finances? Because a lot of it is mindset, and you're going to take that into your business. And so working through the mindset is one component of it. The other thing is that you really have to make sure that if you're married or in a committed relationship, that your partner is in agreement, because you're going to take from your personal finances to fund your business. And a lot of people say, no, I'm not going to do that. And then before you know it, you're at Staples picking up office supplies and you're paying for it out of your personal expenses, right?
I have to tell you, I have to jump in and tell you, you are so spot on with that, because as a business owner, and I know exactly what you're talking about in the beginning, and I was slow. I was very careful about it. I wasn't like, all right, let's jump in. It's going to be great. And oh, wait a minute. No, it's going to take time. But there have been times where I was waiting to get paid from clients that I went into personal savings and had to fund the business. And then I paid myself back. But there's time. You got to be prepared for that. You're totally right.
Right. But if you didn't have the savings to fund it, then it would have started a trickle down effect.
Sure.
And I think that's where people don't realize, and they don't build up their savings sometimes, right? They just decide, I'm going to do this, and they jump in, which I really applaud, right? Because that takes a lot of guts.
Totally.
But I think there's planning that needs to take place before you do that. And so and really conversations. And so I always tell my clients, when we get to the piece of finances, their biggest piece of homework is to sit down with their family and have a conversation about what it's going to look like. And that can be, look, mommy's quitting her job and she's starting a business. So, we're not eating out for the next, few months, or your extracurricular activities are going to have to pivot a little bit, right? But it's just short term. So those are the things that I think people don't take enough time considering. And then their families feel like, well, they made this decision and now it's impacting me, and I didn't want the business anyway.
Gotcha. Yeah. I think we might be getting a call, so we're going to grab that
cool.
right now. Yeah. Interesting. Let's go to line 3. Hi, can you hear us?
Hi, can you hear me?
I can hear you totally clear. Who's this?
Hi, my name is Stacy.
Say your name one more time again. I'm sorry.
Stacy.
Stacy?
Yes.
Stacy, you're on
Yes.
with Holly, and she's your
Hi.
business coach.
Hi.
My question is, I just opened my own hair salon, but
Okay.
I'm not seeing the results like I'd like to see. And I was just wondering if you offer like guidance on marketing strategies, or can you help me like reach my full potential? And like, I want a successful business. Like, I don't want it to flop or anything. I just don't know what to do to get like more clientele in. And do you help with that?
Yes, absolutely. So I do help entrepreneurs that have already started their business and they find themselves kind of in that phase of their business, help with a strategy to get you to the next level. And so I would love to talk to you more about that in more detail, but there are some things that you can quickly do. One thing is you need to stay connected to your clientele. And you need to ask them for referrals,
Okay.
right? That's one thing that you can implement today, right? Where you're doing someone's hair, hey, let your friends know we're here. And, if there's anything specifically that you do that maybe your competition doesn't do, that's where you're really going to market. So you need to understand that piece.
Can I offer a suggestion?
Yes.
It's sometimes uncomfortable to ask for a referral, right?
Yeah.
What about doing a referral program? So what if
That's a
she
great way.
were, to offer, hey, listen, if refer a friend and get, a 10% discount, or, maybe a sample of product or something like that. What do you think about that, Holly?
I think that's a fabulous idea. And we also do affiliate programs a lot.
Okay.
Right. So if you can show that you're bringing the people in, then you get extra incentives.
Love that.
Oh, okay.
So
I never thought of that.
Stacey, I'm curious, what made you decide to go down that path in terms of a hair salon? Was it a passion of yours?
Yeah, I've done hair since I was like little. My sister taught me how, and then so I just decided to like open my own hair salon.
Mm-hmm.
So it was really cool. It's just like we just started out, so that's why I didn't even think to do like the refer a friend, because I know to make money you have to like put money out, but it's like we're not making that much money yet. So I was like, I didn't know if that was a good strategy at first, because
Yep.
we don't have that much clientele yet.
Gotcha.
Right. And I think sometimes when you're just starting, it's hard because you want all the clients you can get. But in order to get clients, you have to run some types of incentives. One thing I always recommend to my clients as well is identifying what makes you different from your competition. So if you handle let's say, and I'm making this up, right? But like natural hair care products. Well, then you want to target and let people know that, because I would go to a salon with natural products versus another. So those are just little tweaks that you can make that's really going to resonate with the right tribe, if you will, your right group of people that's going to come in and be happy, and then they're going to refer you.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thanks for calling,
so
Stacey.
Welcome.
Yeah, and good luck to you.
Thank you. Have
Thanks.
a great day.
You too. Bye-bye. Yeah, it's a scary time when you're starting a new business. So I have a question. How do you know when you should get a business loan?
So that's a great question. And I always say when you can pay for it.
Okay.
No.
Yeah.
So there are programs out there, right? So if you go to sba.gov, you can find some grants that are out there to kind of get you set up initially. There are some small business loans that you can take advantage of that they tailor for small businesses, right? So the terms and things are a little bit different. And so I think you have to really work at that. I have a client now that says, well, I can't start my business until I have the money to start my business, right? So you get stuck in this cycle, but it's identifying how can you get that startup money, finding investors, finding people that you can work with and that will bring the financial piece of it till you can pay it back, right? So working some things out until that piece, because the last thing you want to do is get yourself in a loan situation that you can't pay back. And that happens a lot. And so you just need to kind of know where your business is coming from, where it's going, that kind of thing.
So we're with Hollie Whaley. She is a business coach at K&H Coaching. Give everybody your website.
Sure. It's www.khlifecoaching.com. And we do life coaching, business coaching, financial coaching. We do it all. So.
And back on that loan, just one question. I don't know if there's a formula, but let's say you have some, call it reserve, some kind of capital, some kind of money that can get you going, that you could pay that loan in the beginning, and then you're kind of banking, so to speak, on the fact that, I'm going to grow, and then I'll have more to pay back that loan. You have this piece. Let's say this piece is going to last you 6 months to pay the loan back. Is there any kind of formula to figure that out?
Well, I think really what it boils down to is understanding where the market is. So there's so many different components, right? So you have to know your market, you have to know the seasons of the business. And you may say, well, I'm starting out. How am I going to know that? Well, you're going to do research on like companies, right? So if you have, for instance, a hair salon, and you know that at certain times of the year, prom's going to be a big one, weddings, June, big one, right? For hair salons, because they're going to be doing a lot of brides and, the teenagers going to prom, then you can say, okay, I have 6 months, but I know these 2 months are going to really boost my business. And I'm going to really target it. So understanding the business and kind of the fluctuations, even if they're not your fluctuations, will give you an idea as to where to kind of put that money and when's the right time to do it.
Yeah.
And I always say, if you have the collateral, and you want to take out a loan because you know it's going to take you have 6 months worth of reserve that you can pay that loan, then what you're doing is just backfilling kind of that reserve to make sure that you have a longer extended period of time. And usually within 6 months, you can be generating, if you market correctly and do all of that, you could be generating enough to pay back the loan. But understand that the loan is just one component of the business expense.
Yeah. There's lots of other things, lots of other bills you have to pay.
Yes.
For sure. Hollie, tell me, what is the common theme when you talk to people that are starting a business or just started a business? What's the common theme among them? What is their challenges, their fears? Is there one that stands out?
Yeah. So I think the biggest challenge that people have is really marketing. Marketing is a huge challenge. And the reason I think marketing has become kind of this monster to people is because, we now have social media, which is a great tool.
Sure.
But people are getting stuck on, do I do traditional marketing? Do I do social media? What's my marketing mix supposed to look like? And they usually will use one tool. Let's say they use Instagram, and they don't do mailers, or they don't do things that's reaching their immediate community. So they may have, 1,000 followers, 10,000 followers, but they're around the world. They're not necessarily in your neighborhood.
Right.
And so, there are different things. I think another component is that they don't really want to put the money into it to get the money out of it.
Yep.
When it comes to marketing, right? So marketing is one of those fine lines. And that is one of the biggest challenges I think most new entrepreneurs face.
Having a marketing background, Totally understand what you're saying. And I just had this conversation the other day. It was a reminder of what happened in 2020. And so many businesses went silent, closing up. I can't do anything. I'm just going to shut her down. That's it. We'll come back in a couple of months and see how it goes. The businesses that continued to market or stepped up are killing it today. It's because they were there when nobody else was. And just especially doctors. I talked to a doctor yesterday and they did some marketing. They kicked it up for the first time ever in 2020. And they went from, it's a bariatric doctor, went from like 100 cases to, I'm not exaggerating, 600. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. And made a place in the market when there were bigger competitors out there. And one other point about social media, a lot of people feel that, and I know you're going to agree with this, but we're getting another call.
Okay.
A lot of people think that, well, I'm going to do social media. It's going to be great. I'll do posts and it'll be fantastic. But even if you have 1,000 fans, followers, nobody's going to see it because Facebook and Instagram, owned by the same company, are going to pull back on your visibility because of their algorithms know that you're trying to pimp out your business, so to speak. And guess what? They want to make money. So the only way to reach that audience is, here it comes. You got to spend money. Just what you said before. You got to spend money. It is what it is. You
do.
And what you said, you gotta put in to get some out. Good morning. Who's this?
Hello, my name's Connie.
Hi, Connie. You're on with your business and life coach, Hollie Whaley. Say hi.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good.
Can we help you out? You got a question?
Yes, I have a situation. I'm having a really hard time balancing my life as a professional and my life as a mother. I feel like I don't have any time to myself. I'm looking to further my career, but I can't find the time to do it. Have you worked with someone in a similar situation before? And if you did, how were you able to help them?
Yeah, so I get this a lot. This is very common, particularly right now, because things have just shifted and changed so drastically in how we just kind of manage our families, our homes, our businesses, everything, right? And when you're wanting to go up the corporate ladder and you're a mom, it's very difficult because there's, some give and takes on both sides. And so what I recommend doing is you always have to build in time for yourself in your calendar. And you can do that sometimes depending on what type of career you're in and what kind of profession you do. You can build it in the mornings, you can build it in the evenings, or maybe even midday, because if you have children, by the time you get home, right, then it's mommy mode. And so taking out that time, a lot of people feel like when I'm climbing the corporate ladder, I can't take lunch, I can't take breaks. But the reality is it's extremely important, and you become a better asset when you take those breaks. And so you need to build it into your regiment that you are important. And in order for you to be better for your company and better for your children, you need that time. And so don't look at it as a luxury, look at it as a necessity and plan it.
Definitely. That sounds reasonable, like I do tend to forget that I need time to myself sometimes.
Yep.
I'm used to tending to other people. So
Right.
Thank you so much, Holly. I appreciate the advice you gave me.
Oh, no
Thank you very much.
problem. Thank you.
Thanks for calling. Yeah. You know what? It's self-care. And I'm learning that term in the last couple of months, self-care, because we care about everybody else. You forget about yourself. And it's like the analogy being on a plane. What's the first thing they tell you on the plane?
Put the mask on you before somebody else.
Right. So you can't take care of somebody else unless you take care of yourself. But why is it that we feel so guilty when we take care of ourselves? Why is that, Holly?
You know what? I think it's really a cultural mindset that we've created.
Yeah.
Because we have created this mindset that if we're not busy, if we're not working, then we're lazy, then
And we're
we are
failing.
not successful and we're failing.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's so untrue. It's just so untrue. And they've done a lot of research to show that employees or business owners or anybody, right, that takes time out either for vacations, for lunch breaks, things like that, they actually are better employees because now it gives you time to decompress and you become more imaginative. You can think, you're a visionary, you think bigger, you're a better problem solver. And so it's so important to do that.
You take the cue from Google, and this is pre-pandemic because so many people are working from home. But what was the culture at Google at that time? It was big open spaces. You walk in, you're getting paid. It's, you're working, but there's a massive, beautiful cafeteria. There's pinball machines. There's video games in the lobby. It's just, hey, have a great time. Do your job, by the way, but have a great time. And guess what? Look at how big Google is.
Right.
It works.
It does work. And one thing that Google did very well, right, is they were very self-contained. So you need a daycare, we've got one. You need a dentist, we've got one. You need, so you didn't have to leave the building for any services. Dry cleaner on site.
Totally forgot about that.
Yeah, they built this whole world. And then they had these rooms that I remember people were saying like, I don't know if that's a good idea. And I was like, I love the room. It's a think room where you go to think, right? You just go. It's a creative space. You could draw, you could sit in these little cubbies, you could take a nap, you could do whatever you wanted in this think room because it was helping to generate thinking.
Yeah. Yep. I forgot about the daycare, which is, it's starting to come around with other businesses, but that was one of the, like you said, one of the first things they did. And this is going back like 7 years, 8 years, somewhere around there. Yeah. Yeah. We have instant feedback. And by the way, you can always reach us at instantfeedback@steve@gmail.com. You can also call us at 631-319-6275. This is from Nicole, and she's checking in from Virginia. She says, I have challenges scheduling my day. Do you have any suggestions? And she's also asking, are there any apps that you would suggest that work for you?
Absolutely. So I'm a big planner. I have to plan. I have to have everything in my planner or it doesn't get done. And so I had been, I don't know, this is probably dating me, but back in the day with Franklin Covey, right? The big binders that were planners and you could write out and you could have notes and all these things in it. I carried one. And then, technology came around. Yep. And so we didn't need to carry this big planner around anymore. And the challenge I had with digital planning was that none of them synced to my calendar. And so I needed my calendar, my agenda book, everything to sync together. And so I found one. It's called, can I promote it on here?
Please do.
It's called Artful Agenda. That's right. Artful Agenda.
Artful Agenda?
Artful Agenda.
Okay.
It's a digital planner. That you download. They have it on desktop. They have it on your phone. It syncs to everything. So it syncs to my personal Google Calendar where my family schedules things. We all schedule things. It connects to my business Google Calendar, which then uploads to my CRM, right? So everything on that agenda is linking back. And then when you look at my calendar, if my family has scheduled something, it's going to show that I'm blocked. So it's just amazing. I love it. I absolutely love it. So Artful Agenda, you can go on there. They also have it set up. You can put your meal prep stuff in there for women. That's important, right? We can do our meal prep for the week, for the month. You can take notes. You can set goals. I just really, really like it. It's the only one that I have found that works for me.
For us to try it out, do you know, is there a free version of it as well?
It is free. So they let you, well, I don't want to say it's free. They let you try it for 7 days.
Okay.
So you can try it for 7 days. It took me about 2 days and I was sold, right? I was like, okay, this is what I've been looking for because I'm very big on planning. So to answer your question, I use a calendar for everything. And so if it's not on my calendar, then it's not going to happen, right? I double book myself. I mean, I just really have to live by a calendar. And so that's how I plan my day, is through that.
Appreciate that tip. I'm guilty of it too. I got to get back on track, and I still use a pen. If I go to, a meeting, went to a meeting yesterday, bought a book, I'm still writing it down. More times than not, I have to flip through like 50 pages to find out what page I just wrote. I got to get better at that. And I use an app called any.do. That's where you can find it. And I'm sure you can find it on any.do. It's like a list. I've been using it for a while. It's less of a syncing app, but if, Artful Agenda probably does so much more. So we definitely got to check that out. I can't believe that we're just about out of time.
Wow.
Right. So can you tell everybody, if they go to your website, some of the services that you offer and,
Sure.
How they get in touch with you as well?
Absolutely. So when you go to my website at www.khlifecoaching.com, you will see all of the services that we provide. We do life coaching, business coaching, couples coaching. I work specifically with small businesses and entrepreneurs wanting to grow their business. I have recently written a book called Business Essentials, a practical guide to launching your business. It is on Amazon, on my website as well, so you can go out and take a look at it. But it's just giving you practical information for the average Joe, right? Just a lot of business books are written in business lingo, and this is just made simple for anybody that wants to start a business. So we do that. I also do programs. So I have an Entrepreneur Academy. In March, I'm doing the discovery phase, which is phase 1 of starting your business. It's really understanding your why, your mission, your vision, developing your core values and a corporate culture. And we also do coaching, which is mindset work, right? So we do that as well. And then we'll have the other 2 later on in April and May, so that by the time you finish, you have a viable business plan and you have successfully launched your business.
You guys do a lot and do it with passion and do it right. And it's always great having you on, Hollie. So here's what I'm going to do. I got to get Artful Agenda, and in there, I'm going to put in there that I need to get your book.
Oh, awesome. I love it.
It's a full plan. It's a full plan for the day. Hollie Whaley, great having you on. Check out the website, khlifecoaching.com, and look forward to talking to you again next time.
Same. Thank you so much. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. We'll be right back.
Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.
For nearly 2,000 severely injured veterans, everyday life has become filled with barriers.
Day-to-day simple tasks can become pretty daunting.
I have to carry my chair up 2 flights of steps or have somebody do it for me.
What scares me the most is just the falling.
When I'm struggling with my house, I think, to have that one great barrier just knocked down, it's crucial.
Home for Our Troops is a wonderful nonprofit that builds a
mortgage-free, fully adaptive, handicap-accessible house.
And there's no catch.
It'll be our very first home that we've ever owned.
This is a game changer.
This is where your life begins again.
We need you to join us in completing this important mission. Please visit hfotusa.org and help build homes and rebuild lives.
Because of you, everything's going to be okay.